Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
If you're drunk,
blasted,
intoxicated,
rip,
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Season as the sun rises the morning that media days in the Big 12 happen, the eve of the Mountain West, watching the sun come up over the Vegas Strip, it feels like basketball, and even in this town, and actually more so certainly in this town, basketball is it, with the U.S. Olympic team going on, Summer League team, and who on earth is Cooper Flagg? If you didn't know before, you will now know. Good morning and merry football season. At least merry Tuesday. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. How you living?
What it do?
You doing all right?
We all right.
Miss me?
It's quiet.
Is it quiet? I was gonna say it's quiet over there. We're on the road today, or at least I'm on the road at Media Days for football in Vegas. JJ back in the Boracay. Man, I tell you something. I was running around here yesterday, and there's between Summer League starting next week and the U.S. Olympic team is here. They're playing Canada in Vegas, and then all the coaches and I mean just walking through the lobbies, and it's kind of crazy, dude. And it's 118 degrees, by the way.
So I gotta stay in the lobby.
Oh, it's 118 degrees, by the way, which is bonkers. Cooper Flagg. So. JJ, every once in a while, there's a guy who comes along and is a big recruit, a big name when he signs with a college. And sometimes you kind of, okay, yeah, I get it. And then there's others, you have no idea who he is. I think by now, or at least very, very soon, everybody's going to understand the Cooper Flagg phenomenon, because what he did yesterday, I mean, just dropping a three-pointer over Anthony Davis and then a turnaround over Drew Holiday and the dunk that he had after getting blocked by Anthony Davis, all of a sudden he introduced himself at 17 years old to the world yesterday.
The next number one overall pick, and there's been a lot of discussions the last couple years about this kid when he was classified. He commits to Duke. He's 17 years old. He's already playing with the Team USA select team, scrimmaging Team USA, one of the deepest rosters we've seen in a while for an Olympic basketball team. And that's going to get people's attention. And yes, it's a scrimmage, but still, if you're getting some oohs and ahs out of that arena, you're doing something right with that group.
Yeah, I think that's right. And Adrian's showing you some pictures on ProView if you're watching us on ProView Networks or on our Facebook page or on Xfinity Channel 26. A big kid, a talented young man. And I think the reason that you're getting, I mean, look, he's getting more oohs and ahs than anybody in Summer League, and it's because against who he is playing. He was out there against the U.S. Olympic team. That's Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis, and, I mean, pick them. And this young man was going nuts. And just so, I mean, for people who don't know, this U.S. select team, JJ, how are they put together in regards? This is a team that's there to help the Olympic team get ready for the Olympics, right? This is a team against whom they're scrimmaging, they're practicing, and to get Team USA ready to go for Paris.
Yeah, they're guys that have probably, played at some point with Team USA, guys that could be the next, college kids, up and coming recruits, and for Cooper Flagg, he is that what has become the norm for the new generation of forwards. He's 6'8". By the time he's drafted next year, he's probably going to be 6'9", 6'10". He has that athleticism, ball handling skills that we see out of Chet Holmgren, Victor Wembanyama. So it's these long, linking up, big body, not necessarily the Kevin Durant type of player, but he's still more of a forward. So he is in the Chet Holmgren mode. But it's what we're seeing, just the evolution of the game, especially when it comes to these forwards and how they're big, they're handling the basketball, and they're playing all over the floor.
Yeah, let me explain. I mean, Devin Booker's out there. You guys, nobody's talking about Team USA coming out of this game yesterday. Nobody's talking about what Devin Booker did or what anybody else did. They're all talking about a guy who's got 0 points in college and just stole the show at a summer scrimmage at the practice gym at UNLV. Devin Booker says he wants it. I mean, I know this experience he's going to take will move him forward. Jaime Jaquez, who plays for the Miami Heat, to be able to do what he did, not even playing a college game, let alone an NBA game, there's no fear. It's relentless. And that's the thing you can tell about him, is he just has a knack and he will win. He doesn't need the ball. He just finds a way to do it, and the ball finds a way to him. It's something you can't teach, and he's got a great feel for the game. He's a young man from Maine, 6'9", who went to a prep school in Florida, and his team went 30-0. National hoop title in the Nike Hoop Summit in Florida. So, welcome to the world and welcome to our day.
Well, you look at it too, and the rest of the roster are lottery picks that have been in the league.
Yeah, but nobody's talking about
for
him.
years.
Yeah.
And you have this kid who hasn't even played college basketball yet, and he is the most exciting player on the floor. So Cooper Flagg is a name that you're going to hear over and over and over again all year long, because that is who the teams will be angling to get the most ping pong balls for next year.
Yeah, to plant their flag, and this is the next generational player, or at least franchise player. This is, I don't know if he's Victor Wembanyama. Maybe he will be, JJ. I don't know. Let's watch him play a regular season. All I know is I was trying to make a parallel to this last night as I was watching and listening to all the raves. I don't know that I have a parallel for a young man playing against the best in the world who steals the show in a scrimmage, a non-televised scrimmage, in a practice gym in Las Vegas, Nevada, at 118 degrees in the middle of July. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're talking about he's out there with 10 former first-round draft picks. 7 of those 10 were either first or second team all rookies.
On his team, though. I mean, that's his team.
His team, so guys that have already kind of been through those stages, have showed some stuff at the NBA level, and everyone's like looking at this teenager, 17-year-old, like, oh, this is the most exciting guy on the floor.
Yeah, and by the way, the other guys is Team USA.
Oh, Steph Curry and LeBron James and Anthony Edwards and Anthony Davis.
Yeah, theoretically, the best players in the world. And all anybody was talking about was this 17-year-old kid who's never played a game of college. It's amazing. All right, lots to do.
Getting out there to see Team USA?
Maybe on, what day is today? Tuesday? Maybe tomorrow night. They're playing Canada tomorrow.
That'd be
and I've got an in over there. But I've got a function that I kind of committed to, so I'm going to try to get in and dip out and see what I can do.
Cronin when you need him.
You know what? That's a great call. Actually, that's a great call. He can go so you're saying go double for me at this function? I don't hate that. I really don't. All right, lots to do today. 505-246-0610. Come on and play radio with us. We're going to talk with Luke Wysong, Lobo wide receiver. That's coming up at 9 o'clock. Lobos will be at the Circa tomorrow. That's where the Mountain West is doing Media Day. And we'll talk with the Lobo. What is he now, a junior, senior? I mean, holy smokes. It feels like he just was playing high school ball. But if you didn't catch the Bronco Mendenhall conversation yesterday, Go ahead and find it. I think it'll be worth about 15 minutes of your time. Give us 15, 16 minutes. It's over on our website, sportsanimalabq.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. Go hit the opening drive, and then you'll find it there. Bronco was so good. God, he was in a great mood yesterday. He was up in Montana, as he said, saddling horses and building fences. And I just thought he was so good with some of the stuff that you're thinking. We addressed JJ was talking. Somebody called me afterwards, a good buddy of mine, and says, "You guys do so many great interviews. That was so good because he paraphrased this by saying it might be not yet, but he's not in coach speak mode. Now he might be soon, and I don't know Bronco in season well enough, and maybe his coach speak mode is different than other coach speak mode, but." He comes from such a different place than many coaches in regards to the thought process. And I was just thinking about the whole process of earning your number, the number ceremonies, right? The when they start having those, and the captains and the leadership council decides who has earned a number. The whole concept of, it's going to be really hard. And if guys want to leave and go somewhere where it's easier, they're welcome to do that. We're not forcing them out, but is that helping them in the long run? There was so much in that conversation yesterday. And then some of the stuff that y'all want to know about, we asked them about the offensive line and the defensive line, because there was a coach who told me, he thinks that's where New Mexico is in trouble. And so we asked him, and he said, we got 17 guys in, 17 new offensive linemen. And he said he thinks the defensive line might be the strength of the defense. So I thought there was so much meat on that bone yesterday. And as I was sitting on the plane yesterday thinking about it, and like I said, a buddy of mine called afterwards, and it's different, isn't it? And I'm not telling you better, different. I'm just telling you different. And it's very well thought out most of the time and very cerebral.
Well, you wouldn't expect anything less from Bronco Mendenhall, his style as a head coach throughout his entire career, but especially in the last couple of years, hasn't even like lecturing and doing podcasts. So he's very composed when it comes to his message and how he presents it. And I do think it's fascinating, because I think it's one where you lay the foundation, you push players, you can still push student athletes at this point in time, but then there does have to become a balance to the realization that, how far is this going to take you? Once you lay that foundation, you're going to have to start opening things up a little bit more. You still have to build your NIL collective on the football side. Like, earned, not given is a great message for the fan base, and I think that is what the team needs right now. And then I'm really anxious to see, if they're able to lay that foundation, then they have progress. How do they, treat the players that become all conference at the University of New Mexico, and then how do they continue to add to that over the next few seasons? Well,
keeping them is going to be something. And I apologize, I missed this one. It came in at 9:55, like literally as we were going off the air yesterday. Due to a meeting, had to turn off the interview with Coach Mendenhall. How many new players did he say UNM had this season? And JJ, the answer is 60. And he said, get used to it. He says, if you look at Group of 5 rosters, any given year, it's going to be about 40 to 60 new players. So the answer, and hopefully 8573, you're listening, the number was 60. And, he wasn't alarmed by that. He just said that's kind of going to be the way it is. Not just here, but in, most places that are akin to here. So come on in, 505-246-0610. Got a bunch more hoops to talk about, including a really interesting reason, or at least conversation, Paul George, why he's not in L.A., and DeMar DeRozan talks about why he chose the Sacramento Kings. We got a bunch to do, but come on in. We'll give you that stuff when we come back. Hey, it's summertime, and it's hot, and it's warm, and it is also the perfect time for on-the-spot automotive detailing. You had July 4th celebrations, you got road trips, you've got activities, and you're sitting in your car and you're going, Jeff, you're right, my car needs it. I love it when on-the-spot automotive detailing comes to me. They come to my office. They detail the vehicle. And that's the deal with this. Not only do they come to you where it's convenient for you, when it's convenient for you, but they detail your vehicle. Like, what does that mean? Inside, outside, around the rims, under the hood, under the seats, everything. When they're done, your car looks and it feels and it smells like it's brand new. They were voted best in the city, and there's a reason for it. I love what they do. I love how they do it. I love the results, and I certainly love the convenience. It's been a great gift. I've given it a number of times, and more so, I love it when I give it to me. Check them out. They're at otsdetailing.com. I think you're going to love everything about it. You're going to have that new car feel without the expense of a new car. Schedule your appointment today. Give them a call, 505-859-2859. Area code 505-859-2859, or you can book right there online at otsdetailing.com.
It's kickoff time and Believe Podcast.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family.
Jalen House is going to get to play in Summer League. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, the former Lobo, is going to get his shot, and it's kind of a big deal. It's actually really a big deal. J.J., the Boston Celtics, and an opportunity for him to look, that's all you want, right? He watched his dad win an NBA title with the Celtics in 2008. What is it, 16 years later? He will don a Celtics Summer League jersey. He'll be in Las Vegas next week. That's the same place where he won the Mountain West Tournament MVP, leading UNM to 4 wins in 4 days. Also on that roster, Neemias Queta. You may remember him, the former Utah State player who House played against the Mountain West. Celtics will play, if you're looking for it, it's Saturday, 4:30. You can find it against Miami. JJ, I think it's a great opportunity for him. And sometimes people say all I ever wanted was an opportunity, and it's hard to get that opportunity. How do you get experience if you don't have experience, right? And he's got an opportunity to go get some experience and make some noise.
Yeah, this is what you're looking for. Jalen House was intriguing throughout the draft process. Never felt like he was going to get drafted. Unfortunately, Eddie House doesn't have that kind of pull to get Jalen drafted with the Celtics, but to get him on the Summer League roster. So that's a plus. And, House is a very intriguing game. Jose Alvarado is probably the best comp for him, the guy that's been in the NBA, that's played a few seasons in the league, smaller guard, feisty on defense. And for Jalen, it's going to be about the energy, the playmaking ability. If the ball's in his hands, can he show, he can be a consistent shooter. But this is, a team too, the Boston Celtics, that if you look down their roster, they're ridiculous up top. And we know the contracts and salaries that they have. But the back end of that roster, they keep, Peyton Pritchard was the guy that they drafted and developed. Neemias Queta was on their roster last season, back end of the bench. So they're looking for guys to fill out that roster.
I'm not going to lie, I forgot Neemias Queta was on that team. And I thought he would be, and I guess it's not all said and done yet. I thought he was going to be a good NBA player, and I still think he's got an opportunity. He's in a situation where it's hard for him to get on the floor, right? But if you're really good, you find a way on the floor. I thought he was terrific, or at least that's not fair. I thought the potential, and I always go back to the Tony Snell conversation on potential when he was in college. Maybe that's partially against the competition he was playing, but is it too late for him, or he's got an opportunity to develop into a pretty good one?
Well, he was on an NBA, he was on their roster.
He got a ring. Yeah, he got a ring.
NBA champ. So that shows that, he's a pretty good player that they keep around to have him on that roster. And you're sitting on that bench and you might never play, but they're still saying, well, if it gets down to it, we can
you're
put
our
you in
guy.
the game. And so I think that's a big step. And I think it's a huge step for all these guys, how hard it is to make an NBA roster and stick around on it for a season, let alone a postseason.
Yeah. All right, a guy that's on a new NBA roster, went west to east, is Paul George. Were you surprised at his podcast yesterday when he said, I never wanted to leave L.A.? L.A.'s home. It's where I wanted to finish at. I wanted to work as hard as possible to win one in L.A. That was the goal, to be here and be committed to L.A. As it played out, though, the first initial deal was, I thought, kind of disrespectful. He said, in all this, no hard feelings, no love lost to business. So the first initial deal was like 2 years and 60. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not signing that. End quote. There's a couple things there. I a little surprised that that's what they came at. But secondly, and the Clippers said, I guess there was a counter, because the Clippers are the ones who said that they were way too far apart, right? So you said 2 and 60, and they gave Harden 2 and 75?
Yeah.
Who'd you rather have, him or Harden at this point?
Paul George.
Me too. So why would they come way lower than what they gave James Harden?
I think part of it was they realized they were not investing 3-4 more years, $150+ million in Paul George. The Clippers made it kind of clear that they would rather move forward with the extension they gave Kawhi Leonard, a cheap deal when you think about the numbers that were out there, in just 2 more years with James Harden, roll with that, and then kind of open themselves up to reshuffling who they are moving forward. I think that was very clear early on in this process for the Clippers, and I do believe Paul George, because the narrative, when he was at the end of his time in Indiana, OKC is he wanted to get back to California. And Clippers being in LA. So I believe it when he said, he's all in if they would have given him that offer. But it's clear the Clippers did not want to give those 3 players 2 to 4 year extensions, and especially with the money that Paul George was going to get.
But even if you were going to start, why start so much lower of the same number of years than you gave Harden? I mean, I understand. And what he got 4 to 12, right?
But said no.
Yeah, so that's why he's there. Meanwhile, DeMar DeRozan was an interesting one. And it was a guy that I think some people, and I'm one of them, who thought, wow, he might end up in L.A. He ended up in Sacramento, right? The Kings made a trade with the Bulls. So he'll join De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis. It's a pretty good Sacramento team in a really good Western Conference. I guess, JJ, it came down to the Kings and another team, and it wasn't the Lakers. Lakers did not make what is being referred to as a real offer. Shams Charania is really good covering the NBA. He said the Lakers didn't make a real offer. And so it came down to the Kings and the Heat. And he wanted to live on the West Coast. He's a USC guy. He's never played on the West Coast. His career has been in San Antonio and Toronto and Chicago. And for him, it was geography. And I know we talk about this a lot. What's the best situation for you competitively? But I guess you get to a point in your career when you can make these decisions and you go live where you want to live. Klay Thompson wanted to go to Texas. There's no sales or no income tax, state income tax. I guess you get to that point and make that choice. But we talk all the time, well, he's from an area. And Paul George was right there, one of them, right? He's a West Coast guy. He's going to go back to the West Coast. And that's exactly what the deal was with DeMar DeRozan on this.
And a lot of it, too, is what is able to be offered. Like the Clippers were lowballing Paul George. They didn't really want to make a long-term commitment. And you go get $212 million in Philadelphia, and I think Paul George is in a better position to win in Philadelphia than he would be in the Clippers. I don't trust the Clippers. I don't trust any of those guys in the postseason with what we've seen the last few years. Now, you trust Joel Embiid? We can't say you do either. He's been on that Kawhi Leonard path the last few seasons, not being available when it matters the most. But I think the ceiling for that team in Philadelphia is higher, and ended up working out for Paul George to get paid and potentially win at a higher level. Now, for DeMar DeRozan, he goes to a more competitive team in Sacramento, gets back to the West Coast, gets a nice chunk of the apple. A $74 million deal is not something I think the Lakers could have offered him. So I know that's part of the conversation. Oh, another dude that didn't want to play with LeBron James. Well, it's also that he's going to go get paid and be on a team that's just as competitive, if not maybe even better than the Lakers right now.
Yeah, I mean, Sacramento's something. But, yeah, it is another guy who didn't go to the Lakers. And LeBron's got to wear that. And I know he's been asked about that. He was asked about it in that Sunday night ESPN interview that he just did, where it was, well, I mean, I don't know. There's no getting away from it. Lakers needed some players, and all the free agents signed somewhere else, whether it was Paul George. And this wasn't a free agent. This was a sign and trade. But Buddy Hield went to Golden State. DeMar DeRozan goes to Sacramento. Everybody went somewhere else. Is that an indictment on LeBron? And like you said the other day, yeah, he's got to own it. He's got to wear it. Well, it's also, there's some limitations as to what the Lakers are able to do cap-wise. So, all right, 505-246-0610. That's how to get here today. You can come on in, play radio with us, 505-246-0610. That is the phone line and text line here at the Sports Animal. Emails coming in this morning, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. When we come back, got some football because camps are opening up, and feels like the football talk is so much about suspensions and who can't play. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
you get it, right? And that's what you're fired up about. I think you get tonight a new episode of the Hard Knocks offseason with the Giants, which, by the way, if you can catch it, I think it's worth a watch. It's pretty well done. It gives you a little look behind the scenes. I don't know why the Giants agreed to do this, but it brings you into their meetings, it's stuff that, I don't know, man, it's pretty good access. I found it fascinating, but I geek out on that kind of stuff. Opening drive. Thanks for being with us on a Tuesday morning, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. So, JJ, it feels like so much of the conversation about who can't play, and this is a suspension for the Steelers. Cameron Sutton, 8 games without pay. He violated the NFL's personal conduct policy. So he'll return to the Steelers after their Week 8 game in late October. He entered what's called a partial diversion program back in April. He had a domestic violence case. Court records say that he was charged with misdemeanor battery after he turned himself in Florida after being wanted for weeks by the police. The NFL did an investigation. They found that he violated the personal conduct policy. He is not appealing. He was with the Lions when he was arrested. Detroit released him when they found out about the warrant for his arrest. And at that time, he was 1 year into a 3-year, $33 million deal. He started every game in his season in Detroit. He was a good player. But then there was a warrant issued after there was a call to his house where he is alleged to have battered a woman and then fled the scene. And so he's not going to appeal this thing. There's obviously a lot to it, right? But I think the key is, well, a key, let's not say the key, that the NFL's got a policy and they stuck to it. You miss half the season, dude.
Don't sign players with that kind of baggage before anything's figured out. Maybe a lesson for NFL teams.
Fair. But I think you know as well as I do and everybody else, if you can play, if you're pretty good, if you can contribute, you're going to get a job. So he was asked about his message, just kind of what you're saying, right? What's his message to fans who question what he is alleged to have done? And his response was, my job is to be the best version of myself. And how do I give that off to the mass, or how do I give that off to everyone around me? I'm in full control of that. So I'm never worried about a narrative. I'm never worried about what necessarily people say, because obviously, more than likely, they don't know me more than anybody else. It gets back to your foundation, your morals, who you are individually as a human being and what you stand on. Holding my head high. Everybody goes through adversity. Everybody goes through things in their life that can change in both directions. So it's all about how you stand on that and what you do from that. That was his quote. JJ, he's right. I don't know Cameron Sutton. I don't. Was this an incident? Was this a trend? I mean, people tell you all the time, it's like, you don't get caught the first time you do almost anything, right? If you got caught drunk driving, you probably did it before. If you're alleged to have battered a woman, is that the first time? And it certainly can be, right? It certainly can be. I'm not going to sit here and judge. All I know is, from where I sit, and I don't know him, I appreciate that the NFL's got a policy on it, and they're not going to put up with it. Or at least they say they're not going to. And with a player who's not a superstar but a good player, they're going to say, hey, here's your eight games, and that's it. We're not taking away your career. We're not taking away your livelihood. If somebody wants to hire you, you can go make a living. But you're sitting out 8 games and losing, basically half of your salary.
Yeah, it's part of the process. Not much to add to that, man. You have those kind of allegations against you, and you're dealing with all that. Suspension's coming.
Yeah. Tayshaun Gibson's also out. He's a 13-year pro. Safety. He takes full responsibility for a supplement he used. He's getting 6 games, league's performance-enhancing substance policy. He says he'll play this season, but he said he took a supplement one time during the offseason which he said, quote, I thought to be completely safe and well within any of the NFL's policies. It was in no way related to performance training or gaining advantage of any time. I've competed at this level for a long time and have nothing but respect for the game and the fraternity of the players in it. That was his quote. I imagine this one's always such a slippery slope for me, because I believe you know what you put in your body, right? And you get trainers, you get doctors, you get people, nutritionists, and take this, don't do that. And then you are then responsible for knowing what the substance list is, the banned substance list, and what's in it. And you know, sometimes you trust people. This one almost feels flimsy to me because it's a 13-year guy who's never been popped. Now, is it possible? Look, I'm trying to get an advantage late in my career to stay in the game. Yeah. But there's such a list, and you have so many people between nutritionists, trainers, doctors, everybody else. I see how this stuff slips through the cracks. This one I don't jump to conclusions on.
There's so many ways. Was it something that, popped he with on a cycle, coming off a cycle? Was he doing anything? Was he just out and about and was like, no, I'm going to stop in a GNC and get some stuff today? You never know, because you get popped PDs, always just think it's steroids. That's immediately what you're thinking. Oh, you got popped for steroids.
Damn cheater.
Whatever it may be, anything along those lines. And you never know, man. These guys are going through so much. They're doing so much. There's so many different ways to do things nowadays. That's really all you can do is you get popped. And even if you think you didn't do something, there's usually not many ways to get out of it. So you just say, my bad, move on.
Well, yeah, this one I'm leery about. All right, when we come back, some quarterback news in the NFL. A former Mountain West quarterback in competition for a job as a backup, a guy, actually a former New Mexico Bowl winning Mountain West quarterback, and who he's competing against, because there is now competition. We'll get into that as camps continue. 505-246-0610 is how you can get into us today. That's both the Sports Animal phone line and the Sports Animal text line. Hey, if you've been a victim of a crime, or you know someone who's been a victim of a crime, and you probably do, you know all too well it takes way too long for police to show up. They just don't have enough officers to cover all the calls that they get for service. And when it's your home, when it's your business, it's a big deal, and you need a much quicker response. So how about 7 minutes or less? That's normally the response time for customers of International Protective Service. So IPS has officers strategically placed all around Albuquerque, now in Santa Fe, and they can react quickly. And many times they catch criminals in the act, they detain them, they call police, and the police come pick them up. IPS also provides standing guard, so if you need eyes on your property around the clock, they can offer you that. They'll install alarms and camera systems. They've got state-of-the-art facility that monitors those cameras 24/7. It raises the level of security around your home and your business. So when you're on vacation, when you're on a break, when you're on a trip, who's watching your home this summer? Don't let it be the bad guys. Call the good guys at IPS, because a quick response to your alarm or standing guards at your business is what IPS does, and you'll sleep better at night. I know you can't prevent all the crime, but if you've got no protection, you're more likely to be victimized. 505-897-2420 is their number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver.
Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We are.
Wow, that was a little froggy in my throat. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. 505-246-0610 is how to get in today. You got the text line going. That's the number, as well as the Sports Animal phone line. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. All right, so JJ, there's going to be quarterback competitions. I think most places are set. You got a competition in Pittsburgh, and then I guess one in Vegas, right? But everybody else, I think maybe some of the rookies, huh? Where else are you going into camp not set at quarterback number 1?
You mentioned some of the rookies. I think Minnesota is interesting between J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold to start the season.
Yeah.
New England, Drake May, Jacoby Brissett, where you know who the quarterback is going to be, but is that going to be the quarterback week 1?
What about Denver?
I think it's a little. I'm a little more convinced that Bo Nix is going to start the season as quarterback than in even Minnesota or New England right now.
At Washington, Jane Daniels for sure.
Yeah,
no doubt. I think that's probably right. I think the Bears go with the rookie. I think we know what's going on in Seattle. Yeah, so probably 4 or 5 places. Maybe you don't. And then the backup stuff is always up for competition. And I think we've spent enough time over the years looking at backups. And I mean, what was there 1 week last year? I think more than half of the league was playing their backup quarterback, and that's how important that is. And so, who do you got? And I think this one, and you put this on the list today, and I'm glad you did. The Saints are an interesting spot because Derek Carr's their quarterback. JJ, we never talk about their quarterback situation. when you talk about the really good quarterback situations, you certainly don't mention the Saints and Derek Carr. And when you talk about the teams, or at least over the last year, that are in need of a quarterback, we don't talk about the Saints either. Are they in just an absolute purgatory right now?
Yeah, the Saints are a team that can get better at quarterback, but based on Derek Carr's salary, where they sit in that division, it still makes sense. Derek Carr is that quarterback I talk about all the time, that as long as you're not stuck overpaying for good, this is how you stay competitive. And the Saints are right there, because you look at what they're doing. Yeah, everyone loves the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins, the young weapons that they have. There's still a giant question mark. We're expecting 2 quarterbacks to perform at a high level and take teams to the playoffs this season, coming off an Achilles injury.
2 older quarterbacks, right? I mean, a 39 and a 40-year-old quarterback to come off of a. Is that all he is? All right, but he's still okay.
35.
All right, I thought he was older than that. Yeah.
I wake up and my back hurts now.
Yeah, no, I get it. Believe me. Just wait. All right, so who's backing up Derek Carr? And I thought this was interesting because the Saints, in each of the last 2 drafts, have taken a quarterback. Jake Haener, the former Fresno State quarterback, who won the New Mexico Bowl 1, 2, 3 ago now, right? 1, 2, yeah. And then they took him in the 4th round in 2023. And then last year they went with Spencer Rattler in the 5th round. And their coach is Dennis Allen. And he says, JJ, they're both going to be given an opportunity to win that number 2 job because almost always the number 2 quarterback plays. Quote Dennis Allen, the coach, that thing is going to be a battle all throughout training camp. And that was his quote. JJ, what level? I mean, so what's the ceiling with them, with Derek Carr quarterback?
Ooh. Division winners, which means
okay.
Playoff appearance. I think they're right on par with Tampa Bay and the Falcons. To me, it's a giant question mark. Because can the Falcons be the best team in that division with healthy Kirk Cousins? Yes. But we just don't know. That is a lot to ask because the Achilles a little different than ACLs, this or that. And we always also hear about the players really become themselves 2 years after the injury, let alone a year in these cases.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Who do you think wins that quarterback competition, Rattler or Jake Haener?
I think all 3 stay, and I think Jake Haener is the backup, just based on if he's able to hold off Rattler by just being there and showcasing what he learned for a year, as opposed to Rattler coming in as a rookie. And these are the the storylines that you said you do have to mention. We know the starters, we know the teams that have high expectations, but 66 different dudes started an NFL game at the quarterback position. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying, man. I know people go, shut up, man. Why are you talking about backup quarterbacks? Well, because exactly that. I got 32 teams and 66 quarterbacks started. Right? Last I checked, that's more than 2 per team. Teams were going to their 3rd quarterback last year. And it's not just last year, man. I mean, look, these defensive ends, not just the defensive ends, but every bigger, stronger, faster, and a quarterback sitting back there and getting hit more and more and more. And whether it's concussion protocol where 8, 10, 20 years ago, guys would have played through. Now they're sitting out. They have to come out. They've got no choice. Whatever the reason is. JJ, 100% this thing is important. I'd love to see Jake Haener make it. I really enjoyed him. So if you recall, he left Fresno State. So Fresno State played. Who the heck did they play that year? Do you remember? In the bowl game, I should know this. A couple of years ago, and doggone it, who did they play? And it was UTEP. They played UTEP, and JJ. Remember, Jake Haener left. He was going to Washington. Kalen DeBoer, who's now at Alabama, was that
wild ride that's been.
Right? I mean, that's how recent that this was. He was here, and he left to go play go with Kalen DeBoer. He went in the portal. And there was this whole thing. Lee Marks was the interim coach. And then DeBoer went up there, and Haener decided, you know what? I don't want to transfer. And he had to go. I remember the whole team meeting thing. He met with the team. Did they want him to come back? And all that whole bowl prep lead up, it was, well, who's going to be the quarterback? Is it going to be the number 2 guy? Is it going to be Haener? And Jake played and had, just a terrific game. And they beat UTEP. But I got to spend a little time with him, and it was a really interesting time with this young man because he was kind of eating crow, right? He was one of those where I'm going to go play with the big boys, and then he had almost weasel. Well, that's not the right word, but kind of slide his way back into the room, right? And apologize to his teammates, and they had to accept him back. And it was a weird time, and it was a very humble young man who was here in Albuquerque and played in that game.
Yes, it was. There's a lot around that too with the timing of it, and we always have those challenges when it comes to bowl season and players leaving. But some of it too was I heard some things maybe he didn't qualify for Washington, and then so you're like, well, can I come play the bowl game with you guys?
You guys still got my jersey? Have you given it away yet? Can I? Yeah, and that's with an interim coach. And then they hired Jeff Tetford, remember, like during bowl week, and he was here, but Lee Marks coach. It was really, really an interesting time. All right, 505-246-0610. We got a lot to do. Luke Wysong's scheduled to be with us. Coming up at 9 o'clock, the Lobo receiver on his way to Vegas for Media Day. We got a lot of hoops to get into. Jamal Murray, JJ, may be close to an extension. I'll give you the details on the Denver Nuggets star. That's coming up next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
With three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Bob.
Well, it was a Cooper Flag show. It was Flag Day. A guy who's 17 years old, who's never played a game in college, and, I mean, is just there to help the other guys get better. Stole the show. Stole the show of a team of former first-round picks and against the U.S. Olympic team. Cooper Flag. Get used to it. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. The number to get in today is 505-246-0610. Glad you're here. Emails Jeff at sportsanimaleBQ.com and JJ at sportsanimaleBQ.com. JJ, there's so much hoops to talk about. And one of them, and I know I teased this going into the break, Jamal Murray is close to a new deal with your Denver Nuggets. He's entering the final year of his contract. And lots of extensions are going around. Now, back in June, I think, again, it's Shams Charania, who's, or how do you say it? Charania? Shams Charania? Is that it? Who's really good. He said that Murray and the Nuggets were expected to agree on a max extension during the offseason, and we haven't heard anything. But on Monday, the Denver Post reported, this was Bennett Durando of the Denver Post, said that negotiations with the two sides are expected to pick up after the Olympics, and they are now expecting a max deal for Jamal Murray. Look, he's going to be in the Olympics on Team Canada. So Canada's, by the way, really good. Have you looked at their roster?
Yeah, it's pretty stacked.
Team Canada's got some ballers. But he's been at the facility practicing for the upcoming Olympics. So you good? Max deal for him? I know. I don't know. Did he have an off season? Did he have a down season? Did he? It's when you win the championship, right? The only place to go from there is down. When you reach the mountain peak. And so if you don't have another one of those seasons, I know there's plenty of people who think that you have a down season. I don't know that he had a down season. And I'm going to tell you, JJ, with some of the guys that I'm watching get max deals, this guy's a champion and was a key cog on a championship team. I mean, the numbers are going to be crazy, and it's going to be however hundreds of millions of dollars. But, yeah, he feels like a max player to me.
And it's also what one title does. You're chasing that one moment. Because, Jamal Murray, he's been more Kawhi Leonard than an NBA champion. Like, Jamal Murray has battled back through major injuries, but he had that nagging calf injury this past postseason. Wasn't good against Timberwolves. And this is a situation where Jamal Murray has played the big-time level, has had some big-time playoff games, and it's a no-brainer. But it does show you, yes, that's what you're chasing, because that one championship erases everything else. Erases the fact that there's been multiple playoffs where he hasn't been available because of injury, where he's falling into that Kawhi Leonard category of, all right, you got your championship, but what have you done for me lately? And the Nuggets, this is such a gigantic 2 to 3 year stretch, because this is still the prime of Nikola Jokic, the prime of having a guy that can compete at that highest level, a guy that is going to be in conversation for MVP every single year, and you need a legitimate number 2, and that has to be Jamal Murray. If you're maxing him out, he has to be that guy. So you don't feel like you missed opportunities with Nikola Jokic.
How do you feel about this? Because to say he's more Kawhi Leonard than, I don't know who you compared him to. I mean, how do you feel about that guy getting a max then? And all the resources
right now,
going there.
He is still the best option, right? Based on what you can do when you have a player's rights in your salary cap versus what you can go out there and get. Like, Jamal Murray is still the best option, but there's a lot of risk there because he's been off the floor more than he's been on the floor in those big time moments.
Yeah.
Because this is a bet you have to make. You have to go back in with Jamal Murray because he is still the best available with cap situation, what you could be working with over the next few years. And you know he can do it.
Well, you've seen it
once. And now you just keep your fingers crossed that that organization can develop a little bit more on the back end, because losing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, it hurts, but you're still running out Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr. has got to be that third dude consistently. Because I know I'm getting every night out of Aaron Gordon, and it's good. So the pieces are there.
Yeah, I wouldn't count them out. I would still tell you I think they're one of the top contenders next year. Did they do anything in the offseason to get better? Not that I've seen. No. In fact, to your point, they lose a big piece. So are they still do you put them behind Oklahoma City? Yeah. I got to put them behind Minnesota. Why? Well, Minnesota just beat them. And then I got to put them behind Dallas because, Dallas just beat them and I think got better, right? So what did the Nuggets do? If they sign him, okay. But what did they do to get better? Did they draft somebody? Not that I saw. Like, what did they do to get better?
Nothing compared to anyone else.
Right? Which has to be a little bit frustrating.
It's still a top 4 team, though. Like, they're better than Dallas.
Okay. Dallas beat the team that beat them, went to the final. Okay. I mean, I can listen to that argument. I don't know that I think you're wrong. But the team that beat them got dominated by Dallas. No, we'll see. This is kind of cool next week. So with the TBT starting next week and that exhibition game that'll be at the Pit on Tuesday, Team Gordon versus Team Douglas, Tony Snell's going to be there. He's going to be back in Albuquerque. And so walk me through this because I was out of town and I didn't hear the whole story. Is he playing for the alumni team? He's not playing for the TBT team, but he's going to play for the team that's warming them up, basically. He's playing for the Cooper Flag team?
That is correct.
All right. Who's on that Cooper Flag team?
I can pull up the Albuquerque Journal story for you. And we can
okay. Is that where it is? Yeah. I'd been out of town and I hadn't seen it. But that's next Tuesday. If they put out, let's see if they've got ticket info on this and everything. So golobos.com is where you can get tickets. And this should be a pretty good time. It's part fundraiser, part preparation for the TBT. And this is that night that, Lobo fans love to welcome back all their former guys they just love. The TBT team has got really good players. J.R. Giddens, Anthony Mathis, Bryce Alford. I think the other team's going to be pretty good too. Chad Adams, Obacha Jet. Amaya Brown's playing for them, which I think is great. Jamal Fenton, Darius Gary, A.J. Hardiman. Darrington Hobson, Alex Kirk. Damn, dude, that's a team.
With Tony Snell?
With Tony Snell and Kendall Williams on it. I'm going to be out of town next week. You're going to have a good time Tuesday night.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun out there.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's a really, really fun team. Darren Prentice. I love that Alex Kirk's coming back. And I know the obvious question is, why aren't a couple of these guys playing on the TBT team? Like, what's a better team, JJ?
So the TBT team, Bryce Alford, Scott Bamforth,
yep,
Jared Giddens, Anthony Mathis, Isaac Mushila, Troy Simons, and then they added some non-Lobos, like Joey Blank in the center. Got Christian Cunningham, he's a New Mexico kid.
Yep, Cibola.
Jacob Wiley, LG Gill.
Okay. Who's better?
The Enchantment team probably has more guys that are in
shape,
pro mode.
Yeah.
No, Kirk. I think Kirk and Hobson can ball, as is Tony Snell, because we had the stories last year of Tony Snell hoping to be on an NBA team to get those benefits there. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
People are going to be going at it. You're going to have a few moments, when you get on some one-on-one situations. It's going to be good stuff.
Yeah, I really love this. Really love this. Yeah, Tony Snell put it out. Is that I'm back. Buy your tickets. This is really cool. This is really cool, and they're going to honor the three Lobos who have passed recently: Reuben Douglas, Drew Gordon, and Greg Brown. And it'll be a fun night of basketball and a sentimental and emotional night to remember those. Damn, I'm kind of bummed I'm going to be out of town on that one. But, yeah, that'll be fun. All right, we got a sweet deal for you when we come back, 505-246-0610. We're going to talk with Luke Wysong coming up at 9 o'clock. The Lobo receiver's on his way to Vegas. Media day, man. It is football season. It is now football season. And I know it's 100 and whatever degrees here in Vegas, and it's warm everywhere, but welcome to it. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Get a...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been...
The sports animal.
Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Glad you're with us on a Tuesday morning. There's so much going on between the hoops and football starting, and holy smokes, where do you go? So later, I guess it'll be JJ tomorrow, we will have preseason all-conference teams come out. I'm interested to see what those look like. I just think with so much uncertainty, so much new in the Mountain West Conference, JJ, I don't even know who I think or any position. Well, if there's a few positions. Running back, Boise State's got a great one. But I just looking at the whole league, I don't – I got a ballot, and I think you probably did too. I didn't fill it out because I just didn't feel like I knew enough of what was going on to go and fill out a ballot and make it make sense.
I think what you said yesterday was so spot on when you talk about turnover. As much as we talk about the unknown for UNM, that's so much for the Mountain West this season. When you look at now with the Utah State situation, you're looking at 7 new head coaches across the board, plus the transfer portal, plus the turnover. Like I think at the top you could look at Spencer Danielson, Boise State, and say, all right, they won the conference.
Mm-hmm.
There's some stability there. You know that. But then after that, UNLV is starting a quarterback transferred, and you can roll the dice. And I think people might just vote for the known, like Boise State, what they've done. Jeff Tedford the last few seasons at Fresno State. But after that, even with teams like Air Force, the turnover for Troy Calhoun's team, Wyoming, brand new head coach, it's up in the air.
How do you even newcomers of the year and freshmen of the year? I mean, there's so many dang newcomers in this league every year, let alone this year. Everybody's got, like Bronco said yesterday, Bronco Mendenhall was on the show yesterday. He said, we got 60 new players. Pick one. Who's going to be the newcomer on each team, let alone of the year? And
you almost have to do these days, they do the all conference, just the all newcomer team. And just
right?
Yeah. List someone for each position.
Yeah, and how do you even know preseason? Like I'll buy it postseason. If you want to do it for me in November, I'll listen to that. But how do I know? And JJ, there's going to be a team, kind of like Utah State in basketball. Because here's a couple things I know. I've been doing this. This league's 25, 26 years old. I've been in this market for 28 years. I've watched every one of these Mountain West Media Days. And I think the one thing that I know for certain is since Boise State's been in this league, they have been picked to win it. When we sit at Media Day on Wednesday, right, in Vegas. Have you ever been here where it wasn't Boise State picked to win their division and now there's no divisions? Boise State will be the favorite, right?
Yes.
And then what? And then is it? Do you love Fresno State? Who do you like after that? To your point, Air Force was really, really good the last couple of years, but they're starting to cycle through. I mean, then what? Who's your surprise team?
Goodness gracious!
Right? And I'm right there with
Bronco.
you. Yeah. Well, that'd be something. That leads you right to where you're going. Lobo football's coming quick. Their home opener is their season opener. It is week 0. It is August 24th. It is at home against Montana State. They'll go on the road then to play Arizona, Auburn, and New Mexico State, a return for a home slate that includes Fresno State on September 24th. Actually, Fresno State's before New Mexico State. Then they get Air Force at home. They get Wyoming. And they get Washington State, and we have a sweet deal for you. Will Price is in studio with UNM and with a sweet deal. What's up, Will? How you living?
What's going on, guys? This is great to have me. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, sorry about like you're sitting in a room all by yourself. It's a little
on the videos. That's good.
Yeah, a little bit of a weird day. All right, so we got a sweet deal going, and it's Lobo football tickets. And we've done this in the past, and it's been very successful. People really like this. So the sweet deal for you today is Lobo tickets, two for the price of one. So we've got tickets in the turquoise level, end zone to about the 10-yard line. They're $99 for 2 tickets to every home game. It's less than $10 a game. And if you want silver level, that's between the 10 and 25, it's $139 for 2 tickets to every game. That's under $14 a ticket. You can't go to a movie for that. I know you guys are excited over there. You starting to feel it ratchet up at UNM?
Yeah, we are. No, it's been you're going to see a major difference this year when they come to the games. What Bronco has been able to do in such a short time and have all of our players and staff essentially, buy into what he's doing is great. Everything is earned, not given. And that's what we've been pushing for the hashtag for the last couple months. But our players, they're excited. They're excited about what's coming.
We'll talk about it because people are always talking about the beginning of a season. What is new? What is different? Getting to the stadium, the experience. Talk about some of the stuff that I know you have going on.
Yeah, no, a lot of the experience you're gonna see this year. We're bringing back pyro, so we're gonna have a lot of fire. We're gonna have some fireworks. We're gonna have all that kind of stuff. Fans are gonna enjoy that. Obviously, last year we brought the new lights to the stadium. That's gonna continue. And a lot of what we're doing, not just when you come to the game, but built around the team, how we're going to promote them, how we've been promoting them. You're going to definitely see a difference.
No, well, one of the things too, which when you have the university stadium, and it is what it is, but what is the process like for you guys about thinking of new ways to be able to use that space and interact with fans? And saw, the Howl Zone stuff is already out there where people can get involved there, especially too, once you get inside this stadium, things that fans can look forward to.
Yeah, the Howl Zone, like you said, we're trying to amp that again. Last year we made it a little bit smaller, so it's more intimate of a feel. We had Lobo walk right through it with the paw prints on the ground. We're going to continue to do that. We're trying to also include the students, get them closer. We felt like they were a little bit removed, and trying to see if we can't make that happen to make it a little bit more exciting. You'll see some more food options. We've talked to our concessions, Levy. They're trying to bring also some additional food trucks, so some more options when you get into the stadium, and just make it as awesome as an environment as we can, from the minute you park to the minute you get in there to the minute you leave.
He's Will Price. He's in with UNM. And what's your title over at UNM? Director of Hype? What is it, Will?
I wish. That'd be a lot cooler title.
Yeah. What is it?
Senior Associate AD for Revenue Generation. Really just overall the communications, creative, and marketing teams.
Senior Associate, not just Associate AD, JJ. Senior. That means he's a big dog. That means he's a big dog over there. Hey, the question we get most, and probably it's not on the list of questions that the president's staff gave me to ask you, but is about access, getting people in and out. And I know that's something that you guys, especially on bigger crowds, have really, really put a lot of effort into. And help ease people on that, because look, you've got a stadium that was built in the 60s. You've got some challenges, the whole south end of that stadium. You go to another stadium and they've got access points 360 degrees around the stadium, and you just don't have that. So you've got to get creative. What have you guys done to address some of that stuff?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, and that was something that we ran into last year, specifically with the New Mexico State game. So this year we're really trying to promote, and we did this really well toward the basketball season last year, is really encouraging right turns only. All of our signage will be talking about right turns only. That's going to allow access to be a little bit easier in and out. We're also trying to amp up the signage as well. One thing that we noticed was sometimes you wouldn't actually get to the signs before it was too late. So having some stuff that's a little bit earlier as you're making your travel in. We actually created a map last year during the basketball season. We'll do that again this year, that essentially broke the campus into 4 quadrants. And so it helped people to understand, if you're coming from Central, if you're coming from 25 north or south, this is the route, or this is the exit we would prefer you to take. Same with how you leave as well. So trying to do that, a lot more communication from that standpoint. And then, the other part of it too is just increasing the staffing, making sure that we're trying to continually make those lines move and not have any of those slowdowns. We know we're still going to have some, but as long as we're trying to keep that path going, we'll be better.
Well, I think part of it's on the consumer as well. I think people don't realize, and this is something where you guys can help, is that there is an entrance gate on that southwest side, right? That almost never gets used. Everybody goes to those 2 northwest gates, right, and it's congested. How about getting yourself in there before, don't grab your last beer 10 minutes before kickoff and go and think you're going to be sitting in your seat before kickoff. Some of it's incumbent upon the people too.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. And also trying to increase and encourage fans to get there early. We know that fans want to tailgate, and that's great, but try to get in there a little bit earlier. We obviously have a live DJ we brought in last year. We'll do that again this year and try to make it fun so fans can get in, as early as 2 hours, hour and a half prior, and then make sure that they're already in their seats and they're not going to miss what's happening during pregame.
All right, you got a cool schedule. Montana State is a lot better than people think. It's a really good FCS team. You got a Fresno State team who was here, and last time they were here, they won the Isleta New Mexico Bowl back on December 16th of last year. You had an Air Force team, JJ. I think they won 10 games again last year, right? A Wyoming team that was a bowl team last year, and a Washington State team who, to the best of my knowledge, JJ, have they ever been here? They were here. You know what? When they were here, Mike Leach took them for the New Mexico Bowl when they played that great one against Colorado State back in like 2011 or something, 2012. So you got a really, really fun schedule for people to come see.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're looking forward to it. Again, we only have 5 games, so that's a little bit different from what we're used to. But again, like you said, a lot of talent coming to University Stadium, and we're looking forward to make a splash this year.
All right. JJ, got anything?
We good.
All right, here's your deal. Go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Go there at 9 o'clock, click on the sweet deal icon, and take advantage of this Lobo football season ticket sweet deal. 2 tickets for the price of 1. So in the turquoise level, 10-yard lines and out, you get 2 tickets for $99. That's all 5 games, 2 tickets, less than $10 a ticket. Silver, between the 10 and the 25-yard lines, $139, 2 tickets to every home game. It's under $14 a ticket. Take advantage. It should be fun. I know there's a lot of excitement, Will, around there with Bronco Mendenhall. He was with us yesterday. I'll see him here in Vegas tomorrow, and I know there's excitement around him. And just build on something and go out. And bottom line is, go have fun, man. This is something the whole country understands college football, and it's time. It's time our market starts to understand why it's so cool and why they love it so much.
Yeah, we got a great guy. We're excited about what he's doing, and we can't wait to get started.
All right. He is the Senior Associate Athletic Director in charge of what you say, hype and sales and marketing and ticketing and concessions and food. And all right. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys.
I'd be well. That's Will Price. JJ, look, the schedule, I know it's only 5 games. You don't got a bad team coming in here.
You don't. If you're going to play 5, this is a good 5 to play at home, and hope the team's ready to go.
Yeah. All right. You got a bunch of emails coming in, Jeff, at sports@LABQ.com. I'll go through those when we get here or when we come back. We've got Luke Wysong's going to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. He's on his way to Vegas for Media Day. We'll talk some Lobo football with him. That's at 9 o'clock. You're listening to The Opening Drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Coming up at 9 o'clock as he gets set to come out to Vegas for Media Day and answer all the questions. You know, what's your favorite color? He's done this before. I'm pretty sure he did it last year. And so we'll get his take on the great questions. And really, what's the difference now? I mean, I think the perspective from him is really good. I don't expect – look, this is an interesting transition for Lobo football. And I know everybody associated with the program, whether you're inside the program or you're a fan, you want to see a turnaround in results. That's the bottom line. And Bronco Mendenhall said that yesterday. I mean, it's bottom line. I mean, you just got to see results. And this is an interesting one because the last time we were in this position, last time there was a transition, and then people say, well, it's going to be done differently around here. Everybody was ready for it. I think, there wasn't a lot of support for keeping Bob Davie around, and it was different. And there was, all right, you got a local guy in Danny Gonzalez who wanted to come in. He was here. He was out in the community. He was vocal, and there was a lot to it. He was unproven, and it was his first time as a head coach. JJ, this time it's a different feel to me because while you want to change in regards to you have to win, there was a lot of good that was being done around Lobo football as far as promoting the program, as far as the caliber of student athlete you had there. You had, not a record-setting. Well, you just set another record, but you had good citizens. You had a coach that was popular amongst most of the fans, who was from here, who loved it here. They just didn't win enough, and then they showed progress last year, right? And were a 4-win team and beat Fresno State, damn near won their last game, and who knows what would have happened if they were 5-7. JJ, it feels totally different to me, this transition. I'm not telling you bad different. I'm just telling you different.
Yeah, it's a resume.
Right?
Bronco Mendenhall brings to the table.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know how people feel. Like they loved Danny, but they hated losing. And so that leads me into what we were just talking about on the Sweet Deal. And if you want to get into it, and please don't take this as me lecturing, because I'm not. I'm not telling you to go out and blindly support and I get it, man. I've been around here long enough. I know why people don't go to the games. But I've said this before, and it's worth, at least to me it is, and it's my show. I'll say it again. I feel like our community is missing out on something. And as sit where I'm sitting and in the midst of the media day and the hype that is, everything that surrounds it and all these great football communities. And I was out with, some people around the Big 12 last night. The country, God, there's so much fun that is had around college football. And you part of the response to that is, well, but we've got basketball and it's different. It is different and it's great. But you could have both. And JJ, I watch these Saturdays around America. And I know this is an old thing and I've said it to you for years. Do you feel like this community is missing out? When we sit around and watch these packed stadiums and everybody's going and they're tailgating and they're getting with their people. And I mean, you go to another place, you go to Michigan, you go to Oregon, you go to Texas, you go to A&M, you go to Florida, so wherever it is you go. And I just feel like we're missing out on something. And I get it, man. It's incumbent on the team to win and give you something that you want to go to. But I think everybody will win if and when this football program becomes successful.
I don't think people are missing out on the tailgate because I think that there's actually a problem of people
getting
not
people in
to the stadium.
Yeah.
And at some point in time, I can't keep telling people they're missing out on college football when there's 2-3 win teams out there. Like I've tried. I've thrown my hat into the ring to try to be one of those hype makers and make decisions to help. But, I think Danny was an interesting case study, and all the people that scream about New Mexico over everything, they didn't show up.
Right.
No one like, I have a team full of New Mexico kids will be there. No, you won't.
Yeah, and
you had the one coach that's more New Mexico than any coach ever be there, and the team wasn't winning, so you weren't going to spend your money on it.
Yeah, and that's why I prefaced it by saying, look, I'm not lecturing you and saying you got to go and blindly support. I'm well aware of what's going on around here. I've been around here plenty long enough, and I understand it. But I'll push back on you a little bit. I do feel like we're missing out, and it's not you're missing out by not going out to that. I just feel like, dude, it's so special. College football is so cool, and what it does for these communities, and I want it for our community. And, hopefully, and I know what it takes. I get it. I was here in the late 90s when they were winning. I was here when they were competing for the WAC championship, and there were 35,000 people plus 40,000 people in that stadium on Saturdays. And it bonkers, and it was so cool. So everybody says, well, it'll never happen here. I don't know, man. I saw it happen here. That's all. It's not a lecture. It's really just, gosh, I don't root necessarily, but I root for our city. I root for our town. I root for our state. I root for our community. And I just think everybody will win if and when this football program becomes successful and people go out and celebrate 5, 6, 7 times a year.
I mean, I understand, but it's also, when the game's over at halftime.
I know.
That's cool. You had your beers in the parking lot, but
I know.
At this point in time, it's down to football. Like when it's been over and over and over, and you're asking people to come out and do this and do that.
Yep, and that's why I'm not screaming for that. It's not my job, and while I'd love to see it, I've understood it and I get it, and if you want to go out and have fun and hang out with your buddies, and that's cool, and if not, you're going to go do something else. But I get it. I just, gosh, I hope, because it is fun, and I've been to enough places around America where I watch what college football does for communities and people, and so you got the sweet deal. If you want to get in on it, it's there for you. Go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Going to get you some your emails and your correspondence on the text line. 505-246-0610 is how to get there. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by FEMA.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a
505-246-0610 on the text line. Steve says, don't know if you talked about it yet, but what's your opinion about Clemson and FSU being invited to the SEC? They've not been invited, have they? Did I miss something this morning? I don't know that they, Steve, they want in. They want to get into the SEC. They are dying to get out of the ACC. And I think that's the domino, one of the dominoes that we're all waiting to see what happens with it. If that happens, then will the ACC come out west and want more? Will they take Washington State, Oregon State? Would they be interested in anything else? San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State? But no, I mean, Steve, I didn't miss anything this morning. No, they've not been invited. Will they be? I don't know that they will, man. I don't know that that's something that is forthcoming. It's possible, but it's not forthcoming. All right. Hondo says, disagree. He says, disagree with JJ. Jeff, I think Danny was destined to fail, and a lot of it wasn't his fault. August 29, 2020, the day he was going to ride down the ramp at University Stadium on a white horse, Rocky right by his side, and announced Lobo football was back before pasting Idaho State. He was robbed by that, this says, by the governor. After bubbling up out of sight, out of mind in Vegas for a season, the momentum was lost. Lobo football just never seemed to make up all the ground they lost. JJ, how much do you put into that? Because I don't think that's a nothing burger, but I'm going to offer you a but. But to his point, the first season was lost to COVID. They did lose a year of weight training or a season of it, and they played completely on the road. But they played. How much do you attribute Danny not winning and winning enough to the COVID season and being forced by the rules that the governor put down to have to leave the state?
It destroyed the honeymoon period.
Okay.
So you didn't have that, but we watched the team down south that didn't play that was able to put it together.
Therein lies the but. Yeah, and so that would be my counter to that. New Mexico State didn't play at all. They played a spring 2-game or 3-game schedule. Remember, they got waxed by Tarleton State or something, right? And they didn't play at all. They made a coaching change, brought in Jerry Kill, and went to 2 bowl games, and beat New Mexico twice in that process. So I do believe there's something to what the email says. That it did put them back in. JJ, I remember at the time saying, I don't know that either one of these programs can come back from it. Everybody else is finding a way to compete, in their place. And so far, Lobo football has not come back. Carl says, good citizens. Jeff, did you forget about the 4 horsemen? In my opinion, suspending them against New Mexico State was the beginning of the end for Gonzalez. So that was here in Vegas, right, where 4 players went out and missed ditch curfew and didn't play. And I don't know, man. I guess to me, is that not a good citizen? My point was you didn't have any law issues. Kids missing curfew in Vegas, by the way, is not something that's super novel. I'll just tell you that. I don't know. Does that you decide? Lobo Hobo says Wazoo was in University Stadium for the 2004 opener, Jeff, when they didn't coug it, beating Rocky Long and Lobo football led by Don Terrell and Cole McCamey. Okay. 2004. And then they were here for the bowl game, and they did coug it when they lost to Colorado State. All right, we're going to talk to Lobo receiver Luke Wysong when we get back. The Lobos are going to be in, a few of them, their head coach and Luke, going to be in Vegas for Media Day. That is tomorrow. He's on his way. We're going to catch up with him. This is a good one to talk to. We're going to talk about the differences, and here's a guy who's been here for a while, going into his junior season, redshirt junior season. Luke Wysong next. Talks some Lobo football on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca.
Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No! That's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
Upstairs goes the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one sent the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears.
New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, football season is kind of upon us as we get set for talking season. See, that comes first, media days. Tomorrow and Thursday, see, today's being Tuesday, over at the Circa in Las Vegas, will be the Mountain West Conference media days. You'll get preseason polls and all conference teams preseason. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. And you'll get the all the questions. Are you shaking your head at me like no or yes? Are we good?
No.
No what?
No Luke yet.
No Luke? All right. I was kind of leading into that. And then, all right, let me check on that. All right. Do you have Frank's number? I was told to call Frank's number for Luke. All right. I got that during the break. I apologize. That's my bad on this. We're gonna get Luke Weissong in here. So but it'll be, I'm looking at a bunch of different Mountain West previews. And it's interesting because it's Boise State at the top. It looks like it does, every year when we sit around and say, all right, who's the favorite in this league? All right, it's Boise State. Then what? And by the way, as Bronco Mendenhall told us yesterday, the media, these polls are never right. Now, sometimes they pick the winner, but not always. And in fact, they're not very good in regards to the rest of it and where it goes. So you've got a UNLV who's nice. You've got a Fresno State and Boise State, but we'll see. Luke Weissong is a junior. He is a former Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of New Mexico. We won state championships at Cleveland High School, and he is a wide receiver for Lobo football on his way to Vegas, and he joins us this morning on The Sports Animal. Good morning, Luke. How you living?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. You set for all the questions? Like, how do you study for media day? Do you get your favorite song, your favorite band, your favorite color, your favorite Vegas dessert? Like how do you've done this before? How do you get ready for this?
Well, this time I'm awfully more prepared than I was last time. I kind of know what to expect, but nothing much really. I just want to be myself. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll leave all those great questions to the pros. Will be in Vegas. Last year, what did anything catch you off guard? Was there something, a question or something that caught you off guard?
Yeah, whenever I went 2 years ago, I don't know. There was just a bunch of questions about everything about coaches, teams, me, schemes, other thing like that. So, I was kind of expecting it all, so there wasn't really any off-guard questions. But, we did have some, fun questions and stuff like that from, activities, too, so those were fun and enjoyable also.
All right. Well, I think, Bronco Mendenhall was with us yesterday, and he's obviously impressive. And I was talking about the transition. This is different than it was when Bob Davie goes to Danny, because Danny was liked. Danny was so popular. The biggest difference for you, and I know it's been an off season, but you felt the culture shift, and there's 60 new players in. From a guy who's been here, who was recruited by the former coaching staff, what's been the biggest difference that you can explain to Lobo fan?
Everything from showing up in the morning to whenever we end up leaving the facility. Everything's different. Our culture, expectations on and off the field, in the locker room, the way we handle ourselves, carrying ourselves, our face, our attitude, everything is way different.
So explain that a little bit. What's the new expectations?
We have just extreme expectations, and that's the gift that coach gives us every day. Really just to hold us to the highest standard possible. And I mean, he doesn't let anything slip, which is good. And we have so much accountability in our program, and I think it's so good for all of us, not just for football, but for in life, just learning life skills and life lessons that we could pass down to our future generations and people that we know in our life too.
He's Luke Wysong, Lobo receiver. How do you feel? You were injured. You missed the back end of last season. You played 4 games. How are you feeling going into this?
I feel great. I feel very confident about our team and all the work that we put in so far. We still have a ton more work left to do, and we're all extremely excited to keep working and all the stuff that we have left. But after everything that we've been through, I feel very confident for what our team has and what we're working for.
Now, Luke, you mentioned the attitude from the program, and earned, not given has been presented. I think these days student-athletes can catch a bad rap because of the transfer portal and NIL, and people on the outside feel like you guys don't want to work hard. You don't want to be pushed. How is the vibe about getting pushed, earned, not given? How do you feel about just that extra kind of motivation as a student-athlete?
Yeah, for sure. So in our program, I mean, that is our motto for every day, earned, not given. And even just to wear the UNM shield on our shirts, we all had to earn that. We all started off in just plain white clothes, and we had to earn everything that we have now. And it's honestly so good because nowadays with the transfer portal, like you said, there's so many opportunities for kids just to leave and go somewhere else where they want to, where they could get this, get that. But really having to earn your stripes and really earn the respect of your teammates and coaches and your peers around you really just shows a lot, and does diligence on the field as well, just because you know that this kid's battle tested and that he's been through so much. So being able to have all that respect for people is just so great, honestly.
Lobo wide receiver Luke Wysong joining us on The Sports Animal. Luke, how are you feeling about just your game, your development as a player? What do you think are going to be some of the biggest strides just in your game on the field as you head into this season?
I think the biggest stride within me personally is having everyone else out there on the field with me. All of us are so close on and off the field. We all hang out with each other all the time, do a bunch of extracurricular stuff. We all go to yoga, hang out all the time, and really just being able to have the people that I'm with every day out there with me, and being out there with my brothers, I feel like is my best attribute.
Luke, I asked Bronco Mendenhall yesterday. I said to him, all the years I've been here, I just don't know what to expect from this Lobo football team. Everything's so new, and the players, and he kind of laughed, and he said, him too. He doesn't know what to expect. As you go into this, man, and everybody's going to, where the Lobos are going to probably end up in the polls tomorrow, and people are going to ask you about it, and how do you feel about it? And I know you feel it's different, but what kind of football team is this? When the people listening, Lobo fans are listening, what should Lobo fan expect this year?
That's a great question, and following up on what Coach said, there's a lot of unexpected going into this year, but that comes along with a new staff and everything that's going along with what we're going through. But the main thing that I think that we have is we have a really tough team that honestly really loves each other, and just being able to go out there with people that we love and trust, and that we're literally all so close to each other, and just being able to go out there and be tough with one another is, I think, what you can expect this year.
Now, when you get 60 new guys in, like how long does it take to know those guys? I mean, not just even learn their names, although that's probably a process, but that's a lot of turnover, and I guess that's just college football these days.
Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of new guys, obviously, on a roster. So, I mean, really just to take time out of your day to really just get to know people around the locker room that may be different faces from what you're used to seeing. And that takes a lot of work, going out of your way. I mean, even if it's outside of football, hanging out with people, getting to know them, where they're from, what they like, and stuff like that, and just really being able to see how your teammates are. But also it comes through hard things that we've gone through. Whenever you go through hard things, you get to see people's true colors, and we go through that every day. So being able to find out what people are like isn't too hard for us. Lastly, how did you, and I don't want to say accept because that's not it. You come from a high school that all you did was win. All you did was win. You coming up all your youth. How do you deal with losing? How do you deal with not having the team success? You put in the work. I know you work harder probably now than you ever did in high school. And to not get the results you want. How did you come to terms with that? Yeah, obviously that was something that wasn't easy for me in the beginning. And, I mean, it's not easy now. You know, no one likes losing. But really just to be able to understand and learn from every opportunity that we had, and really just take everything with a grain of salt and just learn from the past. That's what I've been able to get out of it. And I don't really think, I mean, you can honestly take so much from losses, learning and stuff like that. And I've taken more from all these, like every loss that I've taken more than any win that I've ever had. Really? So really just being able to learn from the past, watch film, study, and just really try to better and get a broader understanding of what you can improve on, I think is what I've best improved on. Yeah, just get better. All right, safe travels, man. We'll see you out here in Vegas. It's going to be 118 today, by the way. So it'll be nice and balmy and cool. Safe travels. Always appreciate the conversation, man. We'll talk to you. I'll see you out here tomorrow. Sweet. Thank you. All right. Be well. He is Luke Wysong. I always wonder that. You know, guys come from winning backgrounds. I mean, that dude's a winner. His whole background is a winner. How do you and I don't want to say adjust to or accept, but you've got to deal with it, right? You've got to deal with the reality that, yeah, dude, we're losing. And it's got to suck. And it's, I mean, how you ever wonder that? Like, how do you get there?
You hope it just pushes you. Your mindset of, becoming more of a professional. That's what college is preparing you for. And it's the understanding of the work that you have to put in regardless, because a lot of these players at the Division I level, even on these gigantic rosters, most of them won a lot at the high school level. And so you come in and start losing. It ain't easy, but it's a realization that it's a different level. It's a different world, and the expectations are there regardless of what you have to do to be prepared.
Yeah. And it's got to take something inside you to keep working even when you don't get the results that you want. And you and I talk about this a lot. You need a win, right? You need no matter what you do. I don't care if it's in school and you get a good grade on a test, or at work or close a big sale. You work your butt off. You need victories to continue. And, whatever it is that keeps you having the faith is interesting. All right, you can comment on that, 505-246-0610. Emails, Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. I got a bunch of them still that I got to get through for you. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Two Men On.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Until you stop, okay?
Hello.
It's me.
Hi, mijo. Where are you?
Miguel was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up.
Luke, and it's a guy who was there for the previous regime, and it's always interesting. how the transition is, getting to know new guys in a new way. JJ, I'm looking at a story, and it's by Andrew Hughes on Fly War Eagle. It's obviously an Auburn site, and there's so many realignment conversations out there. But if Florida State and Clemson do settle and leave the ACC, they're talking about who's going to join the ACC. And this story says Boise State, UNLV, and Air Force were all pitched by the ACC to join that league. It's interesting. What's really interesting here is San Diego State's not mentioned here. None of these programs in the Mountain West were linked to a proposed ACC contingency plan that had Memphis. There's another plan out there: Memphis, Tulane, USF, UConn, Oregon State, and Washington State. I see so many of these stories out there. I have no idea sometimes what to even take and with a grain of salt, and what to think is not right. All that noise is out there, and it just kind of goes with that text that was sent earlier in regards to the ACC stuff, and is Florida State and Clemson going to leave? 505-246-0610 is how to get here. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Chris Bryant's coming back to town. How about that? That's nothing new. Carl says Bronco Mendenhall equals he's calling him Bronco Mercenary equals Bob Davie. Jeff, the last 4 years, Danny sounded much like Rocky did when he first came down the ramp in December of 1997, very rah-rah. On the other hand, Bronco's very much like Bob Davie, very businesslike, very cerebral. Will Lobo fans warm up to him more than they did Bob? That's interesting. Yeah, I think they will. Because he'd been here before, and he knew what he was getting into. And so there's almost, while he's not one of yours, and I'm interested in what you think on this, there is a difference. JJ, he's asking, will Lobo fan warm up to Bronco because they didn't warm up to Bob Davie, and he says they're very similar. There's almost, even though Bronco Mendenhall isn't a New Mexican or a Lobo, there's almost this feeling that he is kind of one of yours because he was here prior, because he was here when they won with Rocky, because he was a defensive coordinator before he launched off into his head coaching career and all that other stuff. Do you think that's right?
Yes. I think that's a huge piece that he's been here before. I think with Bob Davie, fair or not, we can have this discussion. I don't ever think there was an alignment of Bob Davie being a Lobo. It felt just more like Bob Davie's coaching football, and that's it. Like never felt like he was in for the cherry and silver, rah Albuquerque, let's go. Like he was your prototypical, I'm here coaching football, nothing else. And got him back-to-back bowl seasons. But
yes,
there was still, I think, a little bit of that disconnect. Because I think even in college athletics, as professional as it's become, there's still this expectation that you're going to have a different connection with the team and coaches, and they might act differently than the coach of your favorite NFL team.
I think there's an expectation that they're going to be part of the community and embrace the fan base and embrace the boosters. And there was always, and I don't know if Bob lived here or not. I know he's always maintained a home in Arizona, and that's where he is now. But there was always this thought, well, he doesn't live here and he didn't want to be here. And then, when he said, there was a difference, right? Steve Alford said, we are New Mexico. Bob Davie said, this place is unique. Somewhat the same thing, but somewhat totally different things. Does that make sense? Alford said it with almost a little bit of pride. Yeah, we are New Mexico, and there's a chip on our shoulder, and we are New Mexico. Kind of like they say we are Penn State. We are SC, right? Bob, when he said this place is unique, and it was taken, and maybe it was meant this way, that, boy, we have challenges that I'm not sure we can overcome. That we beat ourselves up. We do it to ourselves. And that was the feel. So it's interesting. I didn't really correlate those two, Carl. But I do think they're different. I do. But we'll see. We'll see. Rod says, say hello to Wayne Newton for me, Jefferson, and remember you can drink water. I do need to remember that. Harold wants to know about Lobo volleyball. Frank, are we having a season in 2024? Still haven't seen a final roster schedule. Should be about a week away from the start of preseason. When I see, I will do that, Harold. When I see Frank tomorrow, I will ask him in person. Okay. Carl says replying to Bronco Mendenhall or Bronco. So that's Bronco's good. According to Carl, he's just calling him Bronco mercenary. Jeff, we had a bad habit around here of throwing a bunch of money and years at a coach after one good season. Well, the knife cuts both ways. The rules that allow teams to get better quickly can also cause them to tank just as fast. I'm not sure what his point is, do you? I'm not sure I understand it. No. All right, Lobo Hobo's in. This is on mercenaries. Jeff, I think it's going to be hard to justify a budget bump. You're always going to have guys like Rudy who support athletics regardless. But I'm talking with more and more folks that are done with Lobo athletics, or at least stepping back as long as the focus is on mercenaries. They tell me that's not what college athletics is all about. So it is, though. And that's a tough one. I don't know if you're really talking to a lot of people who are saying, I'm stepping away because, they're changing up players. Then it's not your game. And I can appreciate that. Honestly, if you say, I can't do it anymore, man. The rosters flip every year, and it's not my thing, and it's not what I'm doing. All right, cool. Then it's not your game. But if you're going to say you're into college athletics, you're not finding a place that doesn't turn the roster over anymore. It's just the evolution of this game. And I get it. If it's not yours anymore and you're not giving money for it anymore, I get it. If that's your stance. And what else do you say to somebody like that?
That's all you can say. The game has changed. It's not going backwards. And transfers are here, and all these players are on one-year deals. That's the way you look at it. We like free agency and pro sports, but usually it's like at least someone signs and look, it's a 3 or 4 year deal. Well, in this case, it's a bunch of 1 year deals, and you hope that the product's good. And then I think it is also then on the programs to allow these players opportunities. Well, I know the Lobo Basketball has been doing a podcast now, getting their players out there. I hope I can do more of that this year with women's basketball, and at least get the players' voices out there, because even if they only hear a year or two, like, these are still a lot of good kids, a lot of good stories, and you just hope you can buy in those windows.
I guess you could look at it this way too. I mean, instead of just meeting the first, you get to meet or become involved with a lot more student athletes. Maybe just not as long. I don't know. All right, 505-246-0610. Keep them coming today. Actually, really good stuff. Some anyway. Keep them coming. I'm going to update you on some of the hoop stuff. I know you're not all with us for the full 3 hours, so when we come back, I do want to get back into Cooper Flagg and who he is. And I've got a Mountain West preview for you. What are they saying? It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
When it came out, because it had to be last week when there were only six coaches. It came out June 18th. How long ago is that? Holy smokes. Lobos were picked last, which, again, no surprise. Boise State was picked first. Favorite player, talked about Devin Dampier, but it was mostly, and this will be the talk on New Mexico, I think, coming out of the league, is about Bronco Mendenhall being back in the game. And this one says it feels like a Mendenhall job, and he's brought the band back together. Hiring former Virginia quarterback coach Jason Beck as his offensive coordinator, and he brings in BYU guys. He says the Lobos return about 7 total starters. Mendenhall dipped deep into the portal, and he's got sophomore quarterback Devin Dampier. Devin's going to be the key, isn't it? This is I almost feel like, JJ, there's a hope because I'm going into a Lobo football season with what I think is a clear-cut number one quarterback, and a clear-cut number one quarterback who was exciting and gave me a lot of hope last year when he played.
Are you still there, Jay?
Yeah, are you not talking to me?
Sorry, I was answering the phone. So I had
I'm sorry, dude. I apologize. I didn't know if you could not hear me. Yeah. So yeah. No. It's who we are these days, dude. It's what they've created for us. I understand. But it talks a lot about Dampier, and he says my favorite player is Devin Dampier. He says call it a hopeful fave. We probably overreact to small samples too much, and that's exactly what I'm about to do. But in New Mexico's last 3 games last year, he saw 74 snaps, about one full game's worth, 24 for 41 for 336 and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. New quarterback, mobile, or a new coordinator, mobile quarterback. And so I think they're in a position. Look, I look up and down this, man. Everything's new. I got 8 new quarterbacks in this league. I got 7 new coaches. You tell me who you think, and it's somewhat upside down. I got San Diego State picked towards the bottom. It's interesting to me, man. As I go through it, and you tell me who's good and who's not. We're going to find out. There'll be a lot of talk about it come the next couple of days. I'm excited, JJ, to go over the Big 12 thing, and saw Brett Yormark last night, the new commissioner. Well, not new commissioner anymore, but the commissioner. There's a lot of talk about all the new. It was interesting coming to a Big 12 event here and seeing all the Cal, right, along with the Cincinnati and Houston. It's Cal, and it's Stanford, and I'm sorry, not Cal, not Cal, Arizona State, Colorado. It's brand new everything. This is one of the most fun but uncomfortable football seasons to get started that I can recall in a long time, if that makes sense. What do you got?
Marty.
All right, let's go. Marty, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Marty?
Hey, guys. I can already say this with a vote of confidence. I think Bronco's already probably the best coach in the conference. I can say that. I'm going to say that. In fact, I'm going to say that. So his track record proves it. It's not like he just forgot and became a bad coach, right? And another thing, the fans here in this town, there's a pretty good, smart, intelligent fan base. But, man, there's just, they'll travel 700 miles to go watch their NFL team, and they'll go up the road to go watch the Rockies, or just a terrible franchise. I mean, come on, man. And then you don't want to go to a college football game because they're saying the guys flip and there's no loyalty, there's mercenary, whatever, man. That's business. That's the way it is now. Get used to it. Not going to change. NFL rosters, NBA rosters, they change all the time. It just mirrors. What's really happened is NFL and college sports just are more similar. Right?
I think that's right.
Probably more than ever before. The NFL game copies a lot of the college game. I was kind of a, get off my lawn kind of guy with the NFL, like too much offense, too much of that. But really what happened is it just mirrored the college game. So
I think there's a lot to that.
Just go with the times, man. Stop being that guy,
Thanks, Marty. Appreciate you. Yeah, I think he's right. JJ, you've said it a number of times. It's like pro sports. All right, Rudy's still there? Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Audible. Hi, Rudy.
Good morning. I wonder if there's days that JJ wishes he never learned to run that board.
I promise you it's every day.
So a couple of things. Number one, got approached by Scott Stigler, and I am going to be sponsoring Broncos Weekly Show, Jeff. So get ready.
Nice. Thank you for that. That's really cool.
No, I really feel compelled to do it because I really believe that he is going to redefine college coaching with this earned, not given. I mean, think about it. There's no other sport except college sports right now that just gives you money. You don't get money in the NFL. The only guaranteed money you get in the NFL is your signing bonus. And then if you make your incentives. But everything else is pay to play. And they took the thing and turned it on its head. And I think Bronco is going to redefine it because I think a lot of coaches are struggling with that. And I'm at Texas A&M, and I'm Jumbo Fisher, and I don't know how to keep my locker room straight because I got guys sniping at each other about how much they're making. And it's the only time that I've ever seen that. So I really think that the governance part of this has to step in and start putting some limits. You just can't give $3.9 million to a kid who's never thrown a football in a college game and expect that he's going to do what you want him to. So I really
or can you?
concept that Bronco is on.
Yeah, or can you? And see, that's what's going on everywhere. And it's going to be interesting because it feels like he's trying to adapt. He's trying to do it differently, but within the new way, right? There's no way to not do NIL. There's no way to not accept the portal. There's no way to not accept the current landscape of the game in which you are coaching. But it feels like he's trying to blend some old school. It's going to be really interesting to see how this works over X number of years.
Yep. By the way, everybody make your plans for the 16th of July. And if you get a chance this Saturday to go out to the pit, honor Greg Brown and the celebration of his life, do that too. I'm planning on being there, God willing, but I really want to be there on the 16th. I'm taking the whole family. We're going to go honor the Lobos, past, present, and let's see what the Enchantment can do this year. Maybe Kenny can finally get that winning formula and those guys can cash in.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, especially on Tuesday. All right, man, I appreciate you. Always do. Thank you. And what he's talking about is the Enchantment versus a Lobo alumni team. The Enchantment is the basketball tournament, the TBT, the $1 million winner-take-all. That starts next week, and on Tuesday at the Pit, they're going to do an exhibition game against a bunch of former Lobos. It's a heck of a squad that includes Tony Snell and Kendall Williams and Alex Kirk. And, I mean, it's a heck of a squad they put together. Those are two really fun teams that you're going to get to see next Tuesday.
It's going to be a good night.
Yeah, it is. You know, Rudy brought up something really interesting, and Broncos' way of doing things, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays over X number of years, right? With the new age athlete, with the new rules, with NIL, of course he's playing within that. And he's got to accept the transfer portal, obviously. He's got 60 new players. And there's got to be NIL. But the earned, not given thing is going to be interesting, and it's going to take a special's not right, a specific type of athlete who's going to be able to come in here and thrive and be able to do that for more than 1 year.
Yeah, I think it is something that in this level it can work, because I know you talk about it a lot. It's easy to get caught up in the big picture, but ultimately too, you're competing against the Mountain West Conference. What are you doing? Put yourself in the best position to win games against your conference opponents. And football NIL money is not do the roof right now in the Mountain West Conference. So I think right now this is something that the Lobos can play with. They can sell, earn, not given. They can get players to buy in, and it's something that could be successful. But it comes down to kind of retention. If you get those good players, because you're not competing with worrying about the NIL money at the biggest stages right now. That only a few recruits are out there trying to get. It's having a system where you have that buy-in, but then also understanding, as you said, you can't just act like NIL doesn't exist and expect to win football games either.
Yep. All right, we'll wrap it up when we come back. Everything you got to know as you get through your Tuesday. You still have time to get in at 505-246-0610. I want to tell you about the Albuquerque Convention Center. If it hasn't crossed your mind when you're coming to planning events, so whether it's 2 people or 20,000, whether it's a meeting, a convention, a wedding, heck, your fantasy football league draft, for crying out loud. They've got great space. It is the ideal event venue right in the heart of downtown Albuquerque. They got diverse layouts. It will fulfill your desire, every planner's desire. Exterior, interior walls decorated by a number of local artists. Great food. Great beverage options, located right in the historic downtown area. You will satisfy everybody who comes to your event. Spaces include meeting rooms and ballrooms and exhibit halls, lobby, foyer spaces, walking distance to many or most downtown spots. The 2 large digital marquees outside the building showcase upcoming shows. Great interior aesthetics within the building. I host events there for the Isleta New Mexico Bowl. I go to events there. Put it on your list as you're starting planning, whether, again, a party, a celebration, a wedding, a whatever. Start thinking about the Albuquerque Convention Center. Go to albuquerquecc.com. albuquerquecc.com is the website, and you can call them, start making your plans at 505-768-4575.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos.
People will be talking about that. They're going to be talking about Anthony Edwards a little bit because he says, I'm still the go-to option, man. I know Curry's on this team and LeBron's on this team, but I'm the go-to on the U.S. Olympic team. They'll be talking about Jalen House around here. Jalen House has got a spot on the Summer League team for the Boston Celtics. The former Lobo, who was MVP of the Mountain West Conference tournament here in Las Vegas, now has an opportunity, and I think it's a big deal, JJ. I think it's a great opportunity for this young man to go out and make some noise and see if he can earn himself an invite to camp and maybe make something happen. I think that's great. So that's pretty much what people are going to be talking about as you go through your day. No fear for Cooper Flagg.
No fear. 17 and showing up against Team USA.
Yeah. A couple other things in the NBA. Jamal Murray, reports coming out of Denver they are going to give him a max extension, which I think is the right thing. I mean, it's not the no-brainer. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it is. They have no choice. And that's what they're going to. Well, they do have a choice, but they don't have a choice. Paul George said the reason he didn't stay with the Clippers like he wanted to was that their first offer, what did he say, was disrespectful? Not insulting, disrespectful, right?
Yes.
And so he ended up with the Philadelphia 76ers. And DeMar DeRozan said the reason he went to Sacramento was because he wanted to go out west. He's from SC. And evidently the Lakers offer wasn't a real offer, and whatever that means in today's day and age. And so he ended up there. There's a new name for a star pass rusher, evidently. So Josh Allen was Josh Allen. There's two really good Josh Allens in the National Football League. One of them is the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, JJ, the guy who played at Wyoming, who throws the ball over the mountain. The other one is a really good defensive player for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they got confused a lot. Well, Josh Allen or Josh Allen. Well, Josh Allen of the Jaguars this morning, JJ, released a video that he's changed his name. He is now Joshua Hines Allen. And he will wear Hines Allen on the back of his jersey, still wearing number 41, starting this season. He said it's not really to get away from the other Josh Allen. It's to honor the maternal side of his family and the other relatives who've worn Hines and Hines Allen on their jersey. Quote, legacy is forever, and I'm proud to carry that tradition on the back of my jersey, following in the footsteps of my family who have donned the Hines Allen last name with so much pride and joy. My last name has been changed, but I'm still that person, and I will continue to play like it even better, end quote. I think I'm down with this.
This is a really good branding move. You can present it as for your family. It's because when you say Josh Allen, you don't think of the pass rusher for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You think of the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. You'll always think of the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, no matter what Josh Allen, the pass rusher, does for the Jaguars. This is a very good marketing move for himself. Just even to just get this quick headline blurb this morning about Hines Allen, if it will become a thing if he continues to sack the quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's right. And this is a really good player, by the way. This is a former first-round pick. This is a guy who had 17 and a half sacks and 33 quarterback hits and was a Pro Bowler. This is a guy in April who signed a 5-year, $150 million extension that guaranteed him $88 million. So this isn't just another guy that's got that same name. And I agree with you. I think branding-wise, he will be Joshua Hines Allen, and I think people will respect that. I think people will call him that, and it gets him away from the confusion, whatever you think that confusion is worth, with the quarterback Josh Allen. And a great move. Great move. And by the way, he's going to catch a bunch of today's news, which is, I think it's the right time.
Branding is important.
100% it is, man. 100%. Hey, what did you make of Anthony Edwards coming out and saying, I'm the number one option on this team? I mean, I know there's Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and LeBron James, but everything's got to go through me. I love the cockiness. I wonder, does he really, he believes that, doesn't he?
If we're sitting here during the NBA playoffs and we're having a conversation that Anthony Edwards could be a top 5 player in the NBA when it comes to guys you want to start a franchise with right now and over the next 4 to 5 seasons, who are you leaning on? And we're having Anthony Edwards as a part of that conversation, then him saying he's the go-to option for Team USA isn't crazy. Now, he can get away with it because we don't hate him yet like anyone else. Like if LeBron James said that, everyone would tell him to shut up and go away. We don't want to hear it. But Anthony Edwards is still at that stage where he's got the swag and the hype, and people are going to buy into it. And I think when you're talking about late game situations, though, that changes. I think, though.
Well, that's what go-to means, though, doesn't it?
I understand, but I think that's a different conversation. Are you taking a final shot? Need a three-pointer? You going to Anthony Edwards or Steph Curry? To get me to that point, I might be leaning on Anthony Edwards. I'm going to ball Steph Curry at the end of the game.
Well, and I think that's going to be really interesting.
To get to the rim, Anthony Edwards all day.
So you got Kevin Durant, you've got Joel Embiid, you got LeBron James, you've got Steph Curry. Who do you want the ball
Because LeBron is going to make the right play. So at the end of the game, ball's in LeBron's hands, working off Steph and Edwards. You got options. But I think Edwards could step up and be that go-to player, because LeBron James want to be that for 48 minutes of a USA basketball game right now. Steph Curry want to relax a little bit. Absolutely. Let Anthony Edwards go do all the hard work early on in the tournament.
By the way, we talked about Cooper Flagg and everything last night in that game against Team USA. And USA Select, the score I've seen, and I guess this is right, Anthony Davis had a game-saving block at the end of the game, and they won by 1 point, 74-73. Am I supposed to be alarmed by this?
No.
Why not?
Because it was a scrimmage.
Okay.
Like I think you can tip your cap, man. Cooper Flagg was making plays as a 17-year-old, not overwhelmed by the moment, not scared to be on the floor, but it was a scrimmage.
Okay. Makes me want to watch now, though. It's kind of crazy. Like I said earlier, man, the fact that Cooper Flagg, a dude who's never played a college basketball game, not only was playing for USA Select, which is a bunch of former first-round picks, but playing against Team USA, which is the best players in the world, right? A lot of them. And all you talked about coming out of this was Cooper Flagg, this 17-year-old who was unbelievable. Zach Edey played last night. The Jazz lost 97-95 in overtime. I didn't see any of it. Did you catch any of them?
All right. He had a game-tying tip-in off a missed free throw.
Yeah.
Game to overtime.
All right, then. Impressive. All right.
Did not look like a baby giraffe on the floor.
Good. It's positive.
Good start for Zach Edey.
All right.
I think I'm going to be wrong on Zach Edey.
All right. Thanks to Luke Wysong for being with us today. Remember, the sweet deal for Lobo tickets is available. If you want to get that, go to our website, sportsaudibleabq.com. Click on the sweet deal icon. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men-Ons here at 4. The Isotopes play. Who they got this week? I don't even know. It's R. Who's there? Is it the Rainiers? Tacoma Rainiers are in town? All right. Yeah, I looked at the tickets the other day. Adrian, great work. JJ, thank you for putting up with my crap. Big day for you?
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. We're back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with more award-winning radio for you. Then be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
More surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention.